Broadcasting live from Country Roads. On the plain of Muraganda, we assume it's TapTapConcede. Hello, everybody. Welcome to TapTapConcede. I am Kathleen, and joining me are Ben.
Hi.
And Cameron.
Huh?
And we are here to talk about Aetherdrift previews. And we're very excited, and we have thoughts about Commander and Standard and Draft, and also flavor. But before we get to that, I want to say a big thanks to, looking at the wrong camera, I want to say a big thanks to you and for your kind support at our Patreon, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. You pay our bills. We deeply appreciate it. This is the kind of content that you want to see, so therefore we make it. So thank you so much. We deeply appreciate it. And while I'm talking about this kind of magic content, you should be a subscriber to our channel. Look, there's over 100,000 of you now. So now it's cool, but you got to get on that bandwagon before it's, not as cool anymore. Subscribe.
Surely
cool.
We've been uncool for a decade at this point.
I think we're going to have our moment of cool.
Oh, we're going to return.
We're going to come back like David Bowie.
We never arrived. Let's be honest.
Yeah, we never really had our Studio 54 arc.
No.
We kind of had our Studio Cheesecake Factory after PAX arc.
I mean, though, a Cheesecake Factory after PAX is always kind of a nice little treat.
It's a messed up place.
Get yourself a damn fine cup of coffee. Well, palatable. We're getting distracted.
Yeah, I was about to ask questions like, I didn't know that Cheesecake Factory served more than cheesecake.
Well, that's the only thing you get.
Oh, okay.
Like a drink. You hang out. The point being, thank you for enabling our bougie lifestyle to occasionally go to a
Cheesecake Factory. Living large.
We haven't even got through the sponsors yet. Can you believe people sponsor us? Like Card Kingdom. CardKingdom.com is a veritable kingdom of cards, but they're also a nice company to work for, and they'll send you your cards quickly. We really appreciate their sponsorship. If you use our affiliate code, which is cardkingdom.com/LRR, and you say, Loading Ready Run, send me button, please, you'll get some kind of 1-inch button with some kind of pithy thing, but I don't know what it is because it's 2025.
It's a new year.
Who
we have
knows
new
what
jokes.
could have happened? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually been a new year for a while. January is almost over.
That's true. That's wacky.
You shut your mouth. Hey, we don't want to shut up about ourselves.
Yeah. Now open it again as we talk about these magic cards.
Which I am paid to do.
Dragon Shield. 5%. You get a 5% discount if you want to buy some Dragon Shield sleeves, which are the sleeves that I use because I think they're a perfect intersection of quality and price. And that's my endorsement. And you can get 5% off your order by using our affiliate code LRRMTG05.
I can't wait to talk to Beach later where he's just like, yeah, so Dragon Shield pulled out of sponsorships, but I got an cold email from the Cheesecake Factory. What's that about?
Yeah, thanks for tuning into this historic first and last hosting of TapTapConcede in 2025 by me. Let's get to our previews. There's a whole bunch of previews for Aetherdrift coming out, and they look bananas. It's a very cool, very interesting set. But we haven't seen the whole set yet, so let's talk breathlessly about what we have.
Yeah.
All right, James, what's our first one?
Oh, God, this is on me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Here you go. Here's a.
Oh, I was supposed to.
Here's a boom mobile, I guess.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Right. Did nobody prepare? This is my last hosting gig. But, okay. So this is a 5/5 for 2 red, and it's a vehicle artifact. When this vehicle enters, add 4 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to activate abilities. Okay. That's pretty cool. So it ramps you in red. And for exhaust, which is 2 red. 2 and a red and an X cost. This vehicle deals X damage to any target. Put a +1/+1 counter on it.
I mean, this feels kind of like a fixed version of the Urza's cycle of creatures that untapped the lands used to cast them.
Sure,
nominally.
You're looking at like it's kind of got like a Peregrine Drake kind of.
Yeah, a Peregrine Drake kind of vibe to it. Only it doesn't untap I don't know, your Caracas or your Karoo lands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's cute. It comes out for free, and then you can use that mana right away.
Well, the interesting thing about this is that it's not. You can add it of any one color, right? And you can spend it, only to activate abilities. So instantly, I think a lot of people look at this and they're like, well, I want to flicker this
Right.
Boomobile, right? So that you can just generate like tons of mana. And there's like a bunch of, throughout Magic's history of creatures that are just able to flicker things. I think Abuela from Ixalan,
Ooh.
Abuelo has like a built-in flicker effect on them that you can just like activate whenever you want. So being able to play the Boomobile, generate, I think it's like white mana that you need or blue mana, and then just kind of flicker this Boomobile a bunch. And it's noted that like on the exhaust for the vehicle, it doesn't have to tap to do its exhaust ability. So you can like flicker this Boomobile a bunch and then just shoot somebody in the face. With a fireball, right?
Yeah, like because with 4 mana coming in, you can activate its ability once for 1x. So doing 1 damage is fine, right? You lose the counter when you flicker it, but I don't think you're really hoping to untap if you're doing those kinds of shenanigans.
No, yeah. I see this as just like you shoot somebody in the face and kill them kind of a thing. The game, you don't care about the counter because you're ending the game.
Yes. Yeah, also, this can be done at instant speed. So, like, you can pass the turn, hold up mana, play mind games, and then end of turn just put your mana into, like, kabooming someone.
Yeah, I mean, and also with it too, like the counter clause on it is not separate, but it's a period from the like X damage effect on it. So you could essentially, if you wanted to, just spend 3 of the mana and maybe use the one to like lightning bolt somebody or whatever, and just spend 3 of the mana on putting a 1/1 counter on this thing as it enters.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. It's not. I thought for a moment it was like put that many +1/+1 counters on it, but no, it's something much more reasonable.
It's just doing that. Yeah, like so you get a 6/6 vehicle that crews for 2 for 4 mana. And maybe a lightning
and you
bolt.
don't. Yeah, you get something for 2, right?
Well, you get something for 1, right? Because you spend 3 of the 4 mana, so you have 1 left over, one red ostensibly in this instance, and you could use it on whatever you want. There's a lot of good 1-drops in red right now.
That's true,
in
actually.
Standard and throughout history. Maybe you play this and a Ragavon. I don't know.
Yeah, play something with 2. Play a some kind of red lions.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like cards too that are just giving like vehicles or creatures you control haste, right? So it's like if you play this, play some sort of doofy 1-drop with at least 2 power, crew the Boomobile. Now you're swinging in with like a 6/6.
That's possibly blown away a blocker.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I like the Boomobile a lot.
Can
Yeah,
we talk?
it doesn't have evasion, but I mean, it's kind of an abyss.
Can we talk about a creature that makes vehicles? This got previewed like earlier today, James. It's the new Mu Yangling is the former planeswalker now, the de-sparked Mulet Yan. I'm trying to remember exactly what her name is.
Mu Yanling.
Mu Yanling, that is right. It's not
she
a card I play a lot with.
She got 1 card in a standard set
Yeah.
in like Magic 2050.
Yeah, so I think this is the 3rd printing with her on it because she had an intro pack version
Right.
of her,
Yes.
and then a regular one, and then
And now she's here.
Yeah.
And she makes boats.
she makes boats.
Well, it's a boat in the art, I think.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, I choose to interpret that as she is the ultimate boat captain, I guess. So,
I'm just trying to. She's not on.
on Scryfall. I saw her on Blue Sky.
I would
sorry.
recommend you use Mythic Spoiler for this, James. They're a lot more up to date, and you can just drag the image into your Nifty thing.
Because I don't exactly remember what the card does. I was just like, oh, that's wild. But I like looked at it this morning, right?
Didn't like that.
Just not big enough.
There, you get that one.
There we go.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Ooh,
and
James found us some
cut.
very cool art. Thank you.
That's actually very pretty. I like the foreshortening of the arm.
Yeah. So if you're unfamiliar with this card, it is Mu Yanling Wind Rider, 2 blue, a human wizard pilot. She's a legendary creature now, a 2/4. And it says, when this creature enters, create a 3/2 colorless vehicle artifact token with crew 1. Vehicles you control have flying. Whenever one or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Pretty good.
Yeah, Spy Kids are back on the menu.
Do you feel that this has a home anywhere in like Standard, Ben?
So I mean, there's a lot of really interesting artifact-related decks in Standard. One of the kind of people have been playing around with the, oh my gosh, is it like Spymaster Siren? It's a 1-drop from Ixalan that flies, and when it comes in, makes a map token.
Oh, right.
And then in conjunction with the Novice Inspector from Karlov, that is a Thraben Inspector,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So these things that are just like making a ton of little like artifacts and stuff. So I could see her coming in. A lot of decks that are doing artifacty kind of shenanigans are kind of looking at like bounce packages as well as like really cheap costed creatures that like come in with a thing. There was a deck. It might still be a deck that focused around Zoetic Glyph.
From Ixalan?
From Ixalan as well.
Yeah.
It was like this 3 mana enchantment that will turn your turn an artifact into a 5/5, I believe it is.
Okay.
And it's just so it's like, you make a clue token, make whatever, and then now you've got this gigantic like 5/5.
Yeah, kind of
for
like
cheap.
the old scissors deck.
Yeah, exactly in that kind of
Okay.
realm. And so I could see this one going into that deck because the vehicle that it makes has crew 1.
Yeah,
so your Novice Inspectors
can
and,
suddenly fly.
Yeah, exactly. And you can just start chundling in with that. And it gives your stuff evasion and also just like lets you redraw and refill from your hand. So I think this card's like properly costed. She's got a big butt too.
Yeah, she blocks really well.
Yeah. There's a lot of like lightning strikes in Standard right now. So having 4 toughness is actually pretty key. I think
That was a big problem with Sheldred, wasn't it? That she had 4 toughness.
she's a 4 or 5.
No, she had 5.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything. Why am I even talking?
No. I mean, it's just like still.
Yeah,
you're
it was-
correct though. She was a pain in the butt to kill.
Yeah, no, the correct response to Sheldred is, why does she have 5 toughness?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
In my head, that she had 4, and that was still just.
And they were like, and we'll give her death touch, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, sure. What else? Anything else? Lifelink?
Yeah.
Why not?
But I think this card works really, really well with another one that was spoiled. It's the new little robot buddy. That is in the set.
I really like the in the limited environment. I'm really looking forward to the blue-white deck.
Yes.
With all the little robots. that
This
look
is a
through
blue-white
things.
card.
Yeah, here, let me.
We're looking. We've got Mythic spoiler up.
James is in control of the X and Y axis, but I don't know how much like he's actually looked at the set.
Not nearly enough to know names off of Robot Guy.
Yeah. So this is Mendicant Core Guidelight.
Oh yes, I've seen this guy. He's cool.
Yeah, which in general, from a flavor perspective, I'm really intrigued by this plane. Like this is the first time I think they've talked about this robotic plane. And so I hope we get a Robo set.
Yes.
Coming up.
Yeah, I think maybe we see these guys in Edge of Eternities.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe.
That'd be really
Yeah.
cool. So Mendicant Core, do you want to?
Yeah, Mendicant Core is a legendary artifact creature robot, and it's an X3 for a white and a blue. And it says Mendicant Core's power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. Woohoo, very spicy. Start your engines. And then this is a sort of game action that says if you have no speed, it starts at 1. It increases once on each of your turns when an opponent loses life. Max speed is 4. So in presumably 4 turns, you will be at max speed. And when this creature is at max speed, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 1. If you do, copy it. So to me, this tells me this is like a card for Commander, because we're looking at 4 turns before it kind of like kicks off.
So interestingly, I mean, it might not work. It's tough, I assume, maybe in Azorius, but I don't think the way it's written confuses me. And I think I talked to Surgeon Wheeler about this. So it says max speed increases once on each of your turns when an opponent loses life. I don't know if it has to be spread out over the course of 4 turns.
Yeah, no, I think this triggers every time. Like this will trigger like you
ping somebody.
But
you
says
ping
it-
someone. I think it increments on first strike damage. I think it increments on like regular combat damage.
It increases once on each of your turns when an opponent loses life.
Yeah, and importantly, it's loses life, not takes damage. So any like blood artist will
Sure.
increase speed.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Those
it
kinds
has
of
to be on
effects.
your turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't ding them on their turn and increase your speed.
Yeah. I don't
And
know.
it says increases once on each of your turns.
Oh, once on
It says
don't know.
it increases once on each of your turns when an opponent loses life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
to
it
me
is.
says that
No.
it
I would
varies.
agree.
Yeah,
it's just
no, you're right. I
It's
should have read the second sentence.
I don't know. It's still it's still a question mark for me. But I think you're probably right. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to say, right? Like Start Your Engines only starts when you play a card with Start Your Engines, right? So presumably there's a 1-drop artifact creature that actually starts it in white that I think Cam would actually be pretty excited about.
Oh.
It is called, oh my god, it's like it's a little doofus who's going to make thopters.
Oh.
It is
Yeah,
called
Nesting Bot.
Nesting Rope. Yeah, Nesting Bot. Yeah, so you can play this on 1, and now you've started the thing, right?
Flavor, they're so cute.
Yeah, and then when it dies, you also get a servo, which is cool. But so you could start it right as soon as the game gets going, and yeah, I think you could potentially just have it going by turn 4, and even then, like being able to copy any artifact you play
For one?
1 mana.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's living the dream and kind of limited, and then it's like this is like the combo pops off in Commanders where I see this.
Oh,
card,
absolutely.
like absolutely shining.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I kind of want to play this in standard now.
This
The
looks
little
like
artifact decks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
legit. And can I talk a little bit about another card that just got spoiled today? And I need to find it again because I was looking around for this guy. It's a blue-black card, and it's an enchantment that cares about how many artifacts you have, which is to me interesting because that's not a design space we typically see in blue-black, and I'm desperately trying to find it because I think it might not even be on Mythic Spoiler yet. I think I saw it in Blue Sky. It's called Haunt the Network. And it's 3 blue-black, and it's a sorcery. And it says, choose target opponent. Create 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying. Then the chosen player loses X life, and you gain X life, where X is the number of artifacts you control.
Yes.
So that's cool. To me, I'm like, ooh, that's a little bit of a break of the flavor pie, because black black cares a little bit about artifacts, but not normally.
Yeah, if it does, it's usually because it's in some sort of Esper-related wedge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Sure,
this is
right.
Espery.
Yeah. What was the enchantment from the original Ixalan where you won the game with?
Oh, the Hedron alignment or whatever?
No, it
or
was-
not Ixalan. That was Zendikar.
The one where it counted your treasures.
Oh, plunder the vault.
Yeah.
Right? Like this was the
Yeah.
this was the Is It one?
No, I must be misremembering it. But yeah, no. This is one of the ones where it's like, your opponent has like 15 treasures. They've just been dirtling around, and now you have to worry like, am I just dead?
Revel in Riches.
Revel in Riches.
You're talking
Yeah,
about Revel in
in
Riches.
Riches. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, Revel in Riches was a classic.
Yeah.
People still will
Yeah.
play this in Commander constantly because it's just like very easy to make a bunch of treasures nowadays. Treasures are so everywhere, and then sometimes you just get to play this and no one has enchantment removal, so you win the game on the next upkeep.
Yeah, alt-win conditions. It's a clock. Everyone has to respect it, even if they don't love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had seen that sorcery. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Even if it's a 4-point life swing, I think that feels all right. Makes two dudes. I just am very interested lore wise to see what happens when these robot dudes see Avishkar and are like, how do you treat your servos?
There's going to be some definite cultural exchange, I think, going on.
Yeah, frank
during this
exchange
race.
of views.
Yeah.
Unless these robot dudes are even more callous about their servos.
You know what? We'll have a story review episode. We'll go on,
nice.
go over all of the lore, but that is not for today. Today, I want to talk about another desparked planeswalker is now confirmed desparked. It's Basri, tomorrow's champion.
Yes, I'm very excited about this card,
Okay.
and I will tell you why.
I'm excited about it for lore reasons.
Yes, yeah,
because
yeah.
we've seen explain what's happened, and also because he's a cat lord. Why are you excited about it?
Because of that reason.
Oh,
Yeah. So, Bassery, 1-drop, 2/1. You can tap for 1 white and exert him to make a cat with lifelink. You can cycle him for 2 and a white, and when you cycle it, cats you control get hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. With this card, and one other card, there's another, maybe there's 2 in here, from Aetherdrift. I think there's like a real viable standard cats deck.
seriously? Because there's a lot of cat sport and foundations too.
There is, yeah. So I mean, Bassery, if we
Yeah.
like to kind of lay the foundation for this, we've got the new Bassery, who is just a 1-drop,
Yeah,
but
he's
also
Savannah Lions.
yeah, who will can just punch people, but can make cats, and notably these are the cats with lifelink as well, which I think is very, very cool. But then there's also a Orzhov dude called Zahir Glory's Past.
Yes, and then there's the new cat car thing.
Yeah. So
I see where this is going.
So Zahir Glory's Past is a zombie cat warrior. And is like a 3/2 for white and a black, and lets you start your engines. But you can sacrifice another creature to surveil 1 and activate each turn. And then when you're at max speed, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you get to make a zombie. So
Okay, yeah.
So now you've got 2 really sweet cat-related cards at 1 and 2, which I think is going to be kind of really important in these. But so in Foundations, we had Erebos, the new Erebos, who is a 3-drop. So if you're playing, like Bassery, Zahir, Erebos, Erebos is a cat lord, and whenever you play cats, you get to make a cat. So there's that. And sorry, it's not even play cats, it's whenever a cat enters. So even using Bassery's ability and stuff is going to allow you to make more cats. And then also, Regal Caracal got reprinted in Foundations as well.
Right,
too.
right. I'm just reading this guy, and I'm like, I need this in foil for Lander.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then gonna give all your cats +1/+1, and then have lifelink. And if you've got Erebos already out, when Regal Caracal comes on into play, it's like you're just making a lot of stuff.
Yeah, suddenly you've got like basically a goblin, not pile driver. I cannot remember anything today. I'm doing great.
All right, so this is so Cat's standard deck. I'm kind of excited for Cats and standard, honestly.
I think there's like a real shot at it. I mean, like, even if you're just like there is, what is it? Leonin Vanguard, I think, is currently in standard, which is a 1-drop cat that is really good in zoo related strategies.
There's like this other thing, like I think it's from Foundation. It's from Foundations, but it's called like Claws Out or something like that.
Yep.
That like cares about how many cats you
Yep.
have.
There's also is it Sky Knight Squire? Who on it, like, when people were first looking at it, I don't think were like hugely like lasered in.
Oh yeah, the cat that's like on the bird.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's just
like
a
a Ghibli
really, really
movie.
good card. Skynet Squire. Whenever another creature you controls, you put a 1/1 counter on it, and then if it's got 3 or more, it's got flying and is also a knight now. So it's like there's actually just like a lot of really dope cats that are about to be in standard, and so I think you might just be able to claw somebody to death coming up with Aetherdrift, which is very, very cool.
I am honestly super excited for a cat themed deck.
Yeah, and like, I mean, we started with Bassery. The fact that like, it makes cats, but also now you've got essentially a heroic intervention for your cats.
Yeah.
That also refills itself because it's via a cycling effect. Is wild.
That's and it's very cool. And it's like, yes, I can run 4 of these because maybe 2 of them are heroic interventions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like not even counterable. Right?
Yeah.
It's an activated.
It's a cycle.
You'd have to stifle the ability off the. Ugh.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
Okay, there's some cool stuff in this set. There's also I've been looking. There's a new Hazaret card.
Yes.
You love Hazaret.
I do.
All right,
She's
what do you
back,
think?
my queen.
What do you tell us about Hazaret? Her
Okay.
name is Hazaret Godseeker.
So, I mean, Cameron and I were talking about it a little bit before. I'm very mid on Start Your Engines. As a whole, it like feels like it's this, like, you read it at first and you're like, well, this has got to be an aggro kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But it to me, it's not. It's like, it's such a mid-range sort of thing that it's like the game has drawn out for quite a bit, and it's much like day and night. Once you start it, it's there, and so you may get like value later on, right? And
Right.
I mean, Hazard's really cool because she's a 2-drop, 1 in a red for a 5/3 with indestructible and haste, like she always kind of has. And while I think that's really, really cool to have this big beater at a low thing, obviously she's not going to do much until later. And you can tap her to get your creatures through, so that will kind of turn her effect on and you'll get the start your engines effect. I think she's going to be really valuable in that. But what I'm instantly seeing are cards that care and have like a cost reduction based on like power. And stuff, right? So you take it, you're able to play Hazoret on like turn 2. Now your Galta, for example, is like half the cost.
All the non-keyworded ferocious cards.
Exactly, right?
Online.
Like that's huge. Yeah, you if you have a Hazoret on, if you're playing like red blue, your stubborn denials are instantly 1 mana counter spells.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
So cards like this, where there was a really big flare around Ancient One in Ixalan. Because it was a 2 mana 8/8. Sure, it had this like drawback that like it couldn't like attack or whatever and stuff, but it's still a 2 mana 8/8.
Yeah,
and the printed power and toughness on cards has a like very real effect on things. So
that's an excellent point. And now knowing actually how Start Your Engines works, I definitely agree that it's a mid-range mechanic.
Yeah,
like
I mean, it can help close out for aggro decks, I think.
Yeah, like if we get some kind of pinger that comes online with Start Your Engines, I think that would be really nice. It's just one more thing you have to keep track of. Which I know I'm going to forget it, but it's going to feel so good when somebody cracks a fetch land on your turn.
Oh, so true.
Yeah.
We're going to have to think about that in Canlander now.
Yeah, somebody is going to crack a fetch land on your turn, and you're going to be able to like increment Start Your Engines.
That's wild.
And they'll be like, "Oh, I've been ruined."
Oh,
Store's
man.
gonna pick you up on their shoulders and carry you around, and there's going to be confetti.
Dude, that's going to be some real gotcha moments.
Yeah, it'll feel great.
Everyone's going to be so excited when that happens once.
Yes, yeah, and it won't be me doing it. It
No,
will not be me.
You're going to be the
doing it.
person on the shoulders.
Yes,
Being
yeah.
paraded around.
Yeah.
I'll throw something at you and it'll hit you because I thought it was light, but it was actually going to help you. But it was helping. Speaking of helping, can I move us along to talk about, because you just talking about an 8/8, and I was like, ooh, there's a card that's just been previewed with, it's an 8/8.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Agonosaur Rex.
Yeah, big, tromply.
It is, while James is pulling it up, it is a 3 green dinosaur with power and toughness 8/8. It has trample. It has cycling for 2 and a green. And it says, when you cycle this card, put 2 +1/+1 counters on one target creature or vehicle. It gains trample and indestructible until end of turn.
So, can I just say about this? What I think is so funny about this is we've reached a point in Magic where a 5 mana 8/8 trample, we're like,
not good enough.
all right.
Yeah. Yeah, what else does it do? Does it have an uncounterable activated ability that buffs something? Can it blank some removal for me? Can it swing through for victory on like an instant ability?
Yeah, I mean, so they obviously
Maybe.
are. This is obviously the play on the Carnage Tyrant, kind of thing, right? Where they're like,
it's-
okay, well, what if instead of just giving it to this thing, you can cycle it and kind of give that sort of effect to something else or whatever.
This is probably a testament to how good removal is right now. That like this is good. It's a great card. It will kill you. It's not backbreaking because it doesn't have hexproof.
Yeah.
So it isn't the second coming of Scooposaurus.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we learned anything on the $25 challenge, is that this thing is not an outlaw. Therefore, when it becomes the sheriff, it can most undoubtedly be shot.
Yep. Also, it's got those Thufir Howat eyebrows.
Yeah.
Look at those things, man. I can hear it when he blinks.
I mean, I like that it's got these big antlers, like
Yeah.
Tarka-esque kind of as a big Monster Hunter fan. This dude's got me really excited. And I mean, in the excitement realm, it sounds really boring, but the fact that cycling is in this set is actually the most exciting thing for me. I really like cycling and how they're playing around with like cycling abilities and stuff.
Yeah, when this card is cycled, it gets this. When another card is like discarded, triggers.
Yeah.
Love those.
Yeah. There's a cycling card in this that I think is going to spook some people, which is Valor's Flagship.
Okay.
And so, I mean, right away, this is like a massive vehicle that it costs 7, and it's a 7/7 with flying, first strike, and lifelink, cruise for 3. But you can cycle it for X2 and a white, and when you cycle this card, you make X11 pilots. And pilots can basically crew as though their power was like, too higher.
Too higher, right.
So very popular deck for quite a long time. Not quite a long time, but was dominating Modern and stuff was Greasefang. The Greasefang from the last Kamigawa set. Because her whole thing would be like, you'd bin, like Consulate Skygate or something like that. And on your combat, you'd get to bring that to the battlefield,
right,
and just hit somebody.
Yeah,
with these like massive vehicles.
Yeah, so you make a bunch of pilots, then you cycle this, make a bunch of pilots, Greasefang swings.
Yeah, and that's what's so important about Valor's Reach on this is because it has a way to get itself out of your hand. You don't need any other discarding effects or anything like that. So this lets you just repeatedly throw it in, and it comes to the field, and Greasefang then puts it back in your hand at the end of the thing, right? So you can just continuously do this loop now. I kind of expect to see this in future lists of it. I think this one's pretty big.
A cycle? Are these card vehicles with an X cost a cycle? Because we've seen the red one and we've seen a white one.
Let me go back. I'm skimming through Blue Sky to see if there's any cards that people are really excited about, which is. But let me go back to Mythic Spoiler and see what we've seen.
I mean, this is the only Mythic one I think that's doing like the cycling, because like the Mythic black vehicle is the Last Ride,
right?
Which is the vehicle Death Shadow,
right? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like it's a 1-drop 13/13. That is that's a vehicle.
And pay 2 life, draw a card, and some mana, so 2 in black. But did you get to reduce your life to make your vehicle more power? You get to feed it yourself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if we'll see. So Wheeler and I we're having a conversation about this set, and vehicles and saddle creatures are tough to make a argument for, unless you're doing something that the deck is purposely sort of built around abusing them.
Yes, because you got to sort of commit another board presence to dealing with them.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like
why equipment's typically struggled, because it's a thing that's very powerful, but it requires you to commit 2 cards, which is not resource efficient.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, yeah, exactly. Right. Like, the vehicles that do get played are like the big doofy ones that gain some sort of just benefit for being there or for entering or whatever, right? So it's like why Sky Sovereign gets played a lot, and then in the Greasefang deck, the big one was Parhelion 2, right? Which is just like you're able to cheat it out, instantly kind of crack in with it, and you get a bunch of angels off of it, and that's why you're using it, right?
Right.
And then like for mount creatures, a lot of people, I think the one that probably saw the most play from OTJ was Caustic Bronco.
Oh, yeah, Bad Horse.
Yeah, Bad Horse that did like bob things, right?
Yeah, it bobbed
wrong.
And it was just like, people played this not, like, if they saddled it, cool.
Right.
But for
like
the most part,
yeah,
right? So it's like, it's really hard with these vehicle-centric decks, I think, or vehicle/mount-centric themes, sets to like be like, this card is really sweet, right?
Right.
Because
like the other vehicles I can think of right off the top are things like Smuggler's Copter, right?
Yeah,
which is cheap, drew you cards, was evasive,
but it was broken.
It was cheap. Yeah, it was cheap, drew you cards. It was cheap, and it was cheap.
It was cheap to cast, and like I don't know. And
it was in a different game.
I feel like I'm optimistic that maybe they have adjusted that a little
I think
bit
crew
this time.
costs are much lower than they used to be.
Yes, crew
you-
costs have generally come down. There's a lot of crew ones.
Yeah, if you look at like like OG Kaladesh, you're
Yeah.
just kind of like, sorry, you wanted me to crew this for 6? No.
No.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think OG Kaladesh, they were probably playing it very conservative.
Yeah.
And there were some missteps, i.e. Smuggler's Copter. But, now they've had a decade
Yeah.
to tune it in.
Yeah. They're
And
figuring
now,
it
yeah,
out.
like these vehicles all do something if they're not crewed, right? They can just kind of sit there and have some kind of effect.
Some sort of ETB or there's not. So interestingly, what I really liked when I saw the newest Chandra, who's so dope, by the way. She's doing the Akira slide
Yeah.
on the card. She looks great. Is that her static ability where you choose up to one target vehicle you control, it becomes an artifact creature and it gains haste. So in that way, I think there's a couple abilities like this that they've been printing that will, just turn on your vehicles and stuff. It's super whatever, but do y'all remember Consulate Dreadnought from Kaladesh?
Yeah, wasn't it something like Crew 7?
It was like Crew 7, but it's like a 1-man and like 9/11.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's like, that seems kind of sick in a deck that has like Chandra and stuff in it.
Yeah. Chandra, get your boat.
Yeah. 7/11.
Crew 6. Yeah, this was the 7-Eleven joke.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, just again, looting a card seems great on Chandra. For
Yeah.
+2. Yeah, absolutely.
There is an ongoing there's an ongoing joke right now where specifically because they spoiled I think actually just today Kibler and Olivia spoiled one of the commander precons.
Yes.
And you were talking about planeswalkers who have lost their spark.
Yes.
Nissa has lost
Yes.
her spark.
But there's some great flavor text.
Oh,
my
there
God.
sure is. There is gay happening, and I'm so pumped about it.
Oh yeah, have you read the Aetherspark story?
No, not yet.
Oh yeah, no, they're fully staying with Pia.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Pia brings them breakfast in the morning.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it's just like, why do I hear Chapel Roan?
Yeah. So there's a joke going on. So Nissa, did you want to talk about her?
Nissa it's a reprint of Nissa World Soul Speaker. And it's not a reprint. No, it's a new card. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. It's a brand new card. Nissa World Soul Speakers, 3 and a green for a 3/3 legendary creature elf druid. Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you get 2 energy. Damn. It's like the Avishkar and the Zendikar mechanics smushed together because of love.
The
And then-
Ikars.
Now, you may pay 8 energy rather than pay the mana cost for permanent spells you cast. Flavor text. Zendikar still seems so far off, but Chandra is my home.
Yay, yay.
It's so cute.
So happy about this. So in that realm,
In that realm, this card seems degenerate.
it's good. Yeah. I mean, like, Green obviously not super known for its like energy creating things. There's like the Rampaging Elephant or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like 1-drop and stuff like that. And
making-
there's some good ones.
Yeah, like making 4 energy off of a fetch land.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, seems
Yeah.
great.
4 energy, then you Harrow or something like that.
Yep.
And boom, boom, boom.
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's
Harrow, love it.
there's going to be some hella combos with this.
I feel like you obviously are going to play this in a red-green deck
Sure.
as well.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you could just make this happen. I think with the amount of ramp and like and sacrifice your lands to go grab 3 lands or whatever kind of effects out there. You could just run Nissa as your commander and then just start playing disgusting monsters.
Yep.
Like realistically, on turn 5, I think you could very easily. I mean, you're probably getting. Maybe it's probably before turn 5. Let's be real. You're playing green, mono green in commander.
Yeah.
But like, you could very, very quickly just like crack a bunch of lands or whatever, generate a bunch of energy, spend 8 energy, and just put like an Avenger of Zendikar out or something like that.
and
like super
still
quick.
have your mana from lands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, there's ways to to double like triggers and tokens and all of these encounters and all of these things in green that I feel I can't think of any, but I feel that other people are already abusing this card in ways that were not intended.
Yeah, and there must be like some kind of like ludicrous 8 mana spell that searches up 4 lands. And
Yeah.
puts them
Yeah,
in play,
exactly.
right?
Oh yeah, tons. Traverse
Yeah.
the Outlands. Like there's
See?
tons of really good ones.
Ben knows them.
Go infinite. Go infinite.
But the reason one of the main reasons I wanted to bring this up
Okay.
is there is a card from the Kamigawa Commander precon, I want to say, maybe it was the Kotori one, the white blue one called Swift Reconfiguration. It was a weird little it costs a single white for essentially kind of people were using it as like a little bit of a pacifism effect, but it allows you to enchant a creature or a vehicle.
Right, because there's vehicles in Kamigawa too.
Yes. And so this allows you to turn a permanent into a vehicle, like a creature into a vehicle. And then you're able to, essentially with the flavor of what Chandra is doing, is you're able to instantly crew a vehicle with Chandra. So there's a lot of jokes going around where you swift reconfiguration Nissa into a vehicle and ride her.
And have Chandra ride her?
We're all being
Anyways.
normal about this. We're all being extremely normal about all of this. Building a Naya deck.
That was the joke this morning that really cracked me up. So, yeah.
We're
Ding.
adults.
Yeah.
Are there any other cards that y'all are really wanting to talk about?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, what are some other cards that you have on your
I
mind?
want to talk about New Loot.
Yes.
New Loot, who was kind of getting the Kellen treatment right now in terms of I am on, if there's a new set, I am there. You know?
Yeah. I'm in the story. I'm relevant.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Ben, what printing of loot would you like? There's like 8,000.
Yeah.
Give us the
normal
base
one?
loot. Give us the basic
Extended?
loot.
You can get all of them. I'll just go down the list.
Sure, yeah, just show us all these various loot.
While you're talking about them, I'm just going to cycle
Oh,
through
okay,
like
great.
the 60
I
different
still want
colors.
to kill this thing with a hammer.
Yeah.
All right. So the card we're talking about is the brand new loot from this set. It is Loot the Pathfinder, 2 green, blue, red, legendary creature, Beast Noble, double strike, vigilance, haste, 2/4. And it has Exhaust, green and tap, add 3 mana of any one color. Exhaust, blue and tap, draw 3 cards. Exhaust, red, tap, loot deals 3 damage to any target. Seems pretty good.
Yeah. So I wanted this is one of the new mechanics. Kind of one of the big reasons I want to talk about is the new mechanics in the set is Exhaust.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really cool design space where it's this one-time activated ability.
Yeah,
that
it's
you
like
get to
monstrous.
do. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly, right? So you get to do this one, quite powerful thing in a lot of cases, ability. In Lude's case, very powerful for what you get to Ancestral Recall, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, and then you flicker it. Right? And do it again.
Yeah. So flickering's a big thing. What a lot of people have been looking at for all of these really dope exhaust creatures, because it is also in standard, is Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Is so incredibly cool. I know.
We're still not done going through all the
loot arts, but very briefly. So Agatha's Soul Cauldron was from the Wilds of Eldraine set. A allows you to spend mana as though it were any mana of any color to activate abilities of creatures you control. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have all the activated abilities of on all creature cards exiled with the Cauldron, and you can exile creature cards from a graveyard. And when a creature is exiled this way, you put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control.
All right, we're making loot soup.
Exactly, right? So you're able to throw loot into the soup, and now all of your creatures have these exhaust abilities.
For this conceptually.
Yeah. And there are a ton of really, really cool exhaust abilities in the set. There's a it's new one got spoiled. I think it was by Prof actually. Mindspring Merfolk.
Yes, it's like a merfolk lord, and then it draws you a card.
It lets you mind spring, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, duh.
Which is super, super cool. But this was where I first caught on that thing that we were talking about with the boom car, where the draw X cards portion is separate from the put +1/+1 counter on each merfolk you control, right?
Yeah, blue, tap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do that kind of thing, right? So all these like incredibly powerful exhaust abilities, I think they're probably going to be some like real sick Agatha Soul Cauldron decks out there, and there already is. I mean, Cookie, it's like Simic Cookie was a very powerful one in Standard for a while. So yeah, I can see some real funky stuff happening with like loot.
Can I talk about a draft card that I'm really excited
Yeah,
about that
absolutely.
has to do with exhaust abilities? It's an uncommon called Elvish Refueler. During your turn, it's 2 and a green for a 2/3. Elvish Refueler. And it is a pretty straightforward card. It says, during your turn, as long as you haven't activated an exhaust ability this turn, you may activate exhaust abilities as though they haven't been activated. And then she herself has an exhaust ability of 1 and a green, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. So if you have her sitting there, if I'm reading this right now, this is your chance to crush my dreams. I crushed your dreams with Start Your Engines.
Sure.
As long as I haven't done an exhaust ability this turn, like, I can take a card that's already exhausted and be like, yeah, just do it again.
Yeah. Like on
Disgusting.
this, even just on its own, this one allows you to play it on turn 3, and then on turn 4, if you have nothing else to do with your mana, just activate it twice, and now you've got a 3 mana. Well, I guess
No, you can't activate it twice, because as long as you haven't activated an exhaust ability this turn, you may activate exhaust abilities as though they haven't been activated.
Yeah, so you get 1 extra one per turn.
Right. So, but wouldn't the way that this is written allow you to activate her twice? Isn't that?
Well, but if you activate her, then you've activated an exhaust ability this turn.
During your turn, as long as you haven't activated an exhaust ability this turn,
Yeah.
you activate exhaust abilities as though they.
So
haven't been
basically, you
activated.
put this down, and then because you don't need to tap her to exhaust it. So we'll say you exhaust her the first turn that you get her out, so she's got a +1/+1 counter on it. And then the next turn, you haven't used any exhaust ability, so she can allow you to reuse any one of them.
Oh,
But you
it's
can't
not right.
do it
It's
and
not
then do it
exhausting.
again.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
You could-
misreading.
I'm the
this.
Dream Crusher this episode.
No. I was just like, couldn't you do this? And it was like, no, wait, I'm misreading it.
Yeah, so the turn after she comes down, you could activate someone else's exhaust ability for a second time. Then you could activate hers because you have not activated
Right.
that yet.
Exactly.
And in subsequent turns, you could just keep putting 1 counter on her.
Yeah, you could just put a counter on her every turn or reactivate anything else that you have, because there's some very good exhaust abilities. And I feel most of them are pretty reasonably priced because they know you only get to do them once.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Loot Ancestral.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a really cool exhaust ability for a new legendary creature. I mean, amongst many of them, who I'm also like really curious to learn what their kind of shtick is Sit Varma, Masked Racer.
Sita Varma or whatever.
Sita Varma, Masked Racer.
I saw Shivam was really excited about this.
Yeah, I don't know what their shtick is, but so
Or was he excited about the Commander version of this? No, wait, totally different card. Totally different
Someone's
card.
excited about this card.
someone's
It's
excited
us.
about this card, and it's me, because this one's really interesting. It lets you, for like as a one-time thing, put X, unless I guess you've got the refueler, you get to put X/1/1 counters on Seat of Varma, and then you may have the base power and toughness of each creature you control become equal to their power until end of turn. So this card is going to be really, really sick, I think, with any creatures that are like 0/0s that are like counter oriented. So like a lot of Hydras are going to love this. Or one of my faves, I think we got ourselves a brand new Slime Against Humanity commander, right?
Really?
Because it's all like all your slimes are 0/0s that come on with counters, right? So now, you activate this ability, they all get super pumped, like. And now you've got even gianter slimes coming at people's way. So I don't know. I just this one at first I read it, I was like, it's exhaust. You only get to do it like as a one-time thing or whatever. But I'm like, actually, there's some pretty goofy shenanigans you can do, and you can always, like you said, it's in blue, flicker it too, so that you can redo the abilities or use the refueler as.
If it's your commander, you just
You just
It'll
send it
die.
into the red zone?
just die and
Yeah.
let it die, cast it again, next turn do it again.
Yeah.
Right?
What are you? Yeah. Like what if they're like, oh, I'd really like to get this thing killed so I can do this exhaust thing again and go for another big swing. So I'm going to start attacking with it. What are your opponents going to do? Remove it? That's what you want. Take damage? That's also what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to, and I mean, you're probably going to have a bajillion mana at this point too, because you're a Simic deck, so. You just kind of keep sending them into the red zone over and over, which seems kind of like what they're doing here a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, what is racing if not going into the red zone? All right, we're at 49 minutes in our recording clock, almost 50. So does anybody? We've talked about all the cards I was super hyped for. Anybody else? Last cards.
I've just been excited about the Boros robots. I just think they're cool. I like little guys. I like the O4 that crews a vehicle according to its toughness, and then untaps your creatures once per turn.
Yeah, so this is the Ox, I assume that you're talking about?
Yeah, he's got an Ox stat line, but it's one of the ball bots.
Oh, yes, you're talking about the Interface Ace.
That's
which also
one.
just got a fantastic name.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take all of these.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ruin every draft.
Yeah.
In this format,
Gets to
by
mount
taking
and crew with
all
its
of these.
toughness.
Yeah,
Which is cool. But it's extra cool too because whenever it's tapped once a turn, it gets to untap, so it can double crew.
Yep.
Which is
Or it can be available to block.
yeah.
It can. Yeah. Perfect card.
Yeah.
Perfect card. Love these robots. Can't wait to meet them. The Guidelight Voyagers.
Yeah.
I have a new identity in Magic.
Yeah, these seem so your alley. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah. I look forward to these guys hanging out with gnomes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Just conceptually.
Yeah.
Right.
Their ball bodies together.
Yep.
It's an episode of Roly Poly Oly.
All right, I lied. I have a couple things I'd like to talk about. One, I would like everybody just to look at the card Fearless Swashbuckler. Yeah, this is just for art. This is some flavor stuff for me, just because it's really cute. It's a little shark pirate.
Oh yeah.
So 1 blue red
Little
3/3. He has haste, gives
he's a
vehicles
marlin.
haste. He's like or he's like a marlin pirate, and he's incredibly cute.
Yeah. I like in the stories, people are just like, what is up with these fish guys? Where did these guys come from?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. We got a whole multiverse full of people out there. You can have any kind of planet.
And like somebody threatens to turn one into sushi, and the entire team is like, "Yo, we don't do that here."
There's the artist had such a fun time putting a sword in a swordfish's mouth.
Yep.
And then my last little thing I'd like to leave you with is a brand new card. It's an Oil Deep Gear Hulk, because the Gear Sulks.
Yep,
the Gear Hulks are back.
Is
Yeah.
back, and it's a blue, black, 4/4 artifact creature construct. Lifelink Ward 1. Great. When this creature enters, look at target player's hand. If you do, choose a card from it. If you do, that player discards a card, then draws a card. Whatever.
Yeah.
I hate that I
fine.
looked at this card and was like, yeah, but is this good enough?
It's a 4/4 lifelink.
In the year 2025, though?
Yeah, like it's not bad. Like,
No,
it's
no,
okay,
no.
but
I mean, like, it's objectively a good card. with a
Compared
powerful
to
effect.
compared to like the Gear Hulks that we're used to, these ones are underwhelming.
these are. But I would like to talk about the flavor text.
Oh, yes.
Oil-actuated inventions raised eyebrows after the invasion, but no one could argue against the efficacy of the design.
Look, we all have legacies, and we're not going to where the rockets.
Is this homie full of Phyrexian oil?
Yes,
Yeah, man.
Gross.
Yeah, that's
it
such
still
a bad
works
idea.
for some reason.
That's such a bad idea. I
That's
mean, the
such
oil
a
is
bad
inert,
idea.
but very lubricating, I assume.
Yeah, and the environmental impact studies haven't come back yet, so none of this is illegal.
This is the kind of thing they would do on Avishgar, though. So, I'm like, yeah, I understand that you're like, no, but look,
It
the
works so
knowledge,
well.
It's very efficient.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm sure
More
this
of
is
that,
fine.
yeah, more of that strange oil. It's probably
Nothing.
extremely profitable.
Yeah.
Speaking of past planes, as
Yes.
my last kind of cards, I think we'd be doing a big disservice if we didn't talk about the 2 new gods that they're showcasing
Yes.
in this set.
Yes.
So there's an Orzhov one, which is Ketramos, the new Dawn, who looks like a cat and is once again fulfilling your cat gods who don't have the cat stat line or type line. But it's a 3-mana 4/4 menace lifelink indestructible who can't attack or block unless there are 7 or more cards in exile. And whenever 1 or more cards are put into exile from graveyards, either from graveyards and or the battlefield during your turn, you draw a card and lose 1 life. So
This is a build around.
it is. Well, yeah. I mean, all it takes is one real good Bajuka Bog, and today, like, you're getting a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah, I almost want to use this as a threat in a reanimator deck,
Sure.
right? Just be like, you might not want to bog me, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I could see that.
Yeah. Also, I like how it's stomping a pyramid. I assume this is one of the new gods from Amonkhet.
Yes.
This is one
Yeah.
of the new gods. Basically, they had some holes in the pantheon.
Yeah, we had opportunities.
And the other one is the one that everybody is very excited about, and also has a lot of build around potential, and a lot of people are like very excited to brew with her. It's Sabsunen, I believe, is how you would say, and she's Luxa embodied, or Frog Mommy, as we all called her before we got her full name.
Big.
But she is a legendary creature god. She's a 6/6 for 3 blue-green, which is, I don't know, very classic commander costs. Reach, trample, indestructible. Sabsunen can't attack or block unless it has an even number of counters on it. 0 is even. At the beginning of your first main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on Sabsunen. Then, if it has an odd number of counters on it, draw 2 cards.
Yeah. So they looked at Bounty of Luxa and were like, all right, let's turn it into a creature.
That's so cool.
It's very, very cool.
And yeah, she doesn't do everything. On the turn she can't attack or block, she's drawing you 2 cards, and she has indestructible. Like, what a powerful, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, there it was really this play space I think is really cool because, like, in Duskmourn, the alternate commander for the Zamone deck was a thing that was like when it's like even, you can play creature cards as they had flash, and when its power is like odd, then you can do non-lands and stuff. And I like this whole kind of fluctuating vibe on it.
Yeah, like the flood and drought, right, of the Nile is, it's great. This makes me think of the commander decks we played where Wheeler had the commander who ate counters.
Yeah.
So like that kind of counter manipulation seems like a really fun play space for this kind of card.
Yeah, I mean, it's neat. And I mean, like, if you want to game it, then like a hardened scales will make sure that you always have even stuff to attack and whatnot. But sometimes you're probably just going to want to draw 2 cards, which I think is really neat too.
Yeah,
so.
like this seems like a fun toy.
Yeah, and what I like the most about the gods in this set are the fact that the 3 of them, none of them have the same. Like, usually every god cycle has like the same, like, it's devotion that lets them attack, or it's, how much you've descended or whatever. And in this one, each one's kind of got its own
flavor.
Yeah, even though they're all from the exact same plane, which I think is
and they all
interesting.
feel appropriate for that god.
Yeah,
that the approach to divinity has expanded.
Yeah, I'm excited that Aetherdrift has let us sort of peek back in on what's going on in Amonkhet. I really like Amonkhet.
Me too.
As a plane and stuff, and it seems like they're sort of progressing.
It seems like everything's,
it's going okay after they got real bolus boned.
Yeah, I feel like the Amonkhet check-ins we've had is like they got absolutely ruined by Nicol Bolas. The Phyrexians showed up and went, geez, this place sucks.
Yeah.
Whew, someone's already been here and come through.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Like, we'll come back later. Sorry.
It seems like it's a bad time.
Basically, the Phyrexians come in. It's they've got the stack of pizza boxes. The room's already on fire.
Yeah.
But now we're checking back in. They're like, actually, no, it's good. We got it.
Yeah,
Come
because
to beautiful Amonkhet.
Yeah, because like I expected to check back in on Amonkhet and just be introduced to the road. Right?
Yeah.
But no, it seems to be thriving.
Yay! And their river is a new god now because things are going well.
Yeah.
Frog mommy.
All right. Well, I think that about does it for our thoughts about the new Aetherdrift set and all of the new cards we're seeing. Obviously, there may be new cards out that
Almost assuredly.
when this comes out that we didn't see. But I don't control time in that manner, so that's not my problem. But thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it.
We should get on controlling time. It'd be very beneficial, as content folk.
Oh my god. It seems super complicated though, so I'm going to put it off until I can maybe control something a little bit more useful.
We'll start with time management before we go into time
my own
control.
Personal time before I get into the universe's concept of it. But we'll say thank you so much for tuning in. If you like our vibes and what we do here, please give us some support at Patreon, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. We could not do what we do without you. And speaking of doing what we do. We do what we do because we have wonderful sponsors such as cardkingdom.com. They are very nice people. They're a kingdom of cards. Use our affiliate code when you are buying your singles and or sealed products. If they can ship them to where you live, we appreciate it. And it lets them know this is the kind of content that you like. And speaking of things that you like, do you like covering your cards in sleeves? Most of the time, most of us do. Try some Dragon Shield sleeves. LRRMTG 5. 5% off your order. There. No one's going to get fired over those. Just show James and Beej the ones that I recorded at the end and not at the beginning.
Yeah. Please tell them you like us.
Yeah. Then James won't get mad at me. Speaking of James, he was running tech. Thank you, James.
Thanks, James.
Thank you, James.
You're welcome.
All right. Until next time, I've been Kathleen, and joining me was Ben.
Hi.
And Cameron.
My name.
Bye, everybody.
So, Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah.